You're now listening to The Festival of Football, presented by Billy Harvey and Henry Barrett.
So, what did you think of the two games? Start off with the Chelsea game. Did you see much of it?
Yeah, I watched the whole game. I thought Chelsea were actually very good in the game. They actually probably should have won it. As you saw, Timo Werner had that chance in the first half with Courtois making a great save, and he really should have carried that. That's I'd expect a Sunday League striker to put that away, but he's massively out of form, and he looks like he's playing with no confidence. Bless him.
Unless he plays West Ham, then he can score.
Yeah, I mean it's that old adage, isn't it? They play your team and they score. I mean, I remember when Newcastle signed Joe Linton and he hadn't scored, and then he scored against us and they beat us 1-0. It's like, oh, what a surprise.
There you go, mate. It's always the way, isn't it? I mean, I watched the Chelsea game as well. I think Kante was amazing. Just showing like what he does. It's simple, but it's so effective. You know what I mean? Like he was winning the ball back. Just stopping all Real Madrid's like creativity. Did you notice when Hazard come on, he didn't really do much? What did you think of Hazard?
Yeah, he's out of form. He's injured. He's probably a little bit overweight too. From what I saw, he's had that season where it's been up and down. He's shown flashes, but he's not the player he was. He's had injuries. Madrid, I just don't think suit him. He's gone there to replace Ronaldo. He isn't Ronaldo. He's a great player. He's been a great player for Chelsea. He's got great talent, but injuries have really taken their toll on him, and I don't think we'll see him much at elite level in the years to come.
No, I think that last injury was too much for him, and I think with Hazard, he's always had that. I'll be good this season, but then the next season I won't bother. That season where they stopped you winning the league, that was the only game he turned up in.
It's a big game. It's a big game. He had to turn up. Chelsea couldn't let us win the league. They'll never live it down. Yeah,
that's it. But I mean, yeah, I was watching that game. I mean, Chelsea surprised me. I thought personally Real Madrid would walk it, especially in Spain. Benzema, never really rated Benzema, but the last few years he's actually gone up in my estimation. He's pretty decent. That goal he took was pretty good. Don't rate the Chelsea goalkeeper. I mean, I think he could have done a bit better with that goal.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great touch and finish from Benzema, though, wasn't it? I mean, there probably wasn't too much he could have done as he saw it late. But, I mean, yeah, like I said, Benzema's been underrated for a long time. He gets a lot of stick, but he was really in the shadow of Ronaldo when he was at Real Madrid. It was the Ronaldo show. And you can see now, since Ronaldo's left Real Madrid, how much Benzema's actually flourished. And we're starting to see the player that everyone thought he was. And he still is.
Yeah. Okay, so out of all the players on the pitch, who would you say was your man of the match?
Pulisic. I think Christian Pulisic, he had a massive effect in the first half. But then equally Kante as well. He does the things that go unnoticed. Like you said, he breaks up the play. He covers defensively. He does all the donkey work. It's probably not being fair to him. Donkey work's probably a bit harsh, but he goes.
No, mate, if I was a player and someone says he's doing all the donkey work, he's doing all that work, I'll take it, mate. Because for me, that's the most important part of football. You can have all the skills, you could do everything you want, go scoring goals, but if you ain't got that player that's gonna break up the play and read the game well in midfield, for me, you're not gonna win anything. And that's why, for me, I think Chelsea have got a good chance of winning the Champions League because they've got that Kante. If they didn't have Kante, they'll be done. But because they've got Kante, I think they've got a great chance. I do think we'll have an all-English final.
Yeah, I mean, we could end up with another all-English final, like the Liverpool-Tottenham one. We won't talk about that. But yeah, I mean, hopefully, Chelsea-Man City probably is the better game out of all of the scenarios that you could play. I mean, do you really want to see PSG against Real Madrid in the final? Not really. PSG-Chelsea? Not really. I think it's probably Man City's Champions League to lose this year. I think whoever they get, if they get to the final, which it looks like they will, but we'll come on to talk about their game a little bit later. It's up to them to lose it. I think they'll beat Chelsea. But given that, though, I think that Tuchel has done a really good job at Chelsea. He's getting the best out of Kante.
Well, Chelsea did a job on them in the FA Cup game. Was it quarterfinals?
Yeah, they did. They did. To be fair, I think wasn't it the semi-final?
Might have been the semi-final.
Yeah,
it was semi-final.
Yeah, I mean, they did really well in that game, and they shot Man City down. But I think Champions League final, it will be a tricky one. I mean, I wouldn't want to call it now. It could go, like I said, it could go either way.
My theory is this, right? And I heard the other day. So I said on the other podcast, if like Arsenal win the Europa League and West Ham finish fourth, we won't get Champions League. Well, I actually read into it. We would still get it because in that scenario, they give 5 English teams Champions League. Same as if Chelsea win the Champions League and finish fifth and we finish fourth, we would get it. The only way we wouldn't is if we finish fourth, Chelsea win the Champions League and Arsenal win the Europa League. So it has to, yeah, you know what I mean? So if that happens and West Ham finishes in fourth, I won't be a happy man, let's put it that way.
And look, it's 2012 repeating itself when Tottenham finished fourth and Chelsea won the Champions League and we didn't get Champions League that season. So, you know.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad.
Yeah.
So did you watch the City game then?
Oh, actually, I watched half of it. So I missed the comeback, to be fair, in the second half. But from what I saw, PSG are very basic. They rely so much on Neymar and Mbappe. And of course, they've got pace. They're world-class players. But if you can defend against pace, like you've got players at the back like Ruben Diaz, who is a world-class centre-back. He knows how to deal with players like Mbappe. And it showed last night. They didn't have the same sort of presence about them as they did against Barcelona and Bayern Munich. It was, tactically, it was very naive from Pochettino to try the same sort of counter-attacking football against a team like City, where they're used to that. They're used to teams doing that to them because City always have the ball. So it's nothing new.
From what I've seen of PSG, I didn't see the game last night because I was playing football myself. But from what I saw of PSG in the last round, what they do is Mbappe goes out onto the left wing, and then they just play the ball through, and he just paces it. There's no. It seems like defense get the ball to Neymar. Neymar try and find Mbappe in behind.
Mm-hmm.
Man City's not going to fall for that. You need a plan B. Sorry, and I just don't think that's going to happen. Like you see their goal was scored by a defender.
Mm-hmm.
It weren't Mbappe, it weren't Neymar, because City are well occupied to deal with them. So as I said, I didn't see much of the game. I saw the De Bruyne goal and stuff, but I just think Man City overall just got a better squad, and that's what shows.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at position by position, City against PSG, you'd pick Man City players 9 times out of 10. Okay, you'd probably have Neymar and Mbappe in the team. For Man City's team. But I mean, you look at PSG's team, look at players like Idrissa Gueye. He was at Everton, he did a good job at Everton, but would he get into Man City's team? No. You got players like Marco Verratti.
You just said Neymar and Mbappe would get into Man City's team. Mbappe, definitely. Neymar, would you take Neymar over Foden?
Yeah, on his day, Neymar is a better player. But
at this moment in time, Foden for me is playing better than Neymar. So for me, I won't pick Neymar over Foden. I won't pick Neymar over Mahrez at the moment because Mahrez is doing more than what Neymar's doing.
Yeah, and I think that comes down to Neymar's attitude. He knows he's the biggest Brazilian star. He's everywhere in Brazil. He makes millions upon millions of pounds from sponsorships alone, and he's playing in a league where he doesn't have to turn up. There is no competition. Okay, yeah, this season there has been a title race in the French league, probably for the first time in about 10 years or something mad since the takeover happened. But to be honest with you, he's turning up against teams like Toulouse, and you're thinking, okay, if you put Toulouse in the Premier League, they get relegated. You're not going to have to play teams like Man United, Man City, Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea every week. And he just doesn't he seems motivated for the big games. And yeah, like you said, if you look at his record in Liga and this season, he's done nothing really. I mean, he gets injured around his sister's birthday every year. I mean, that's about the biggest thing you could say.
I mean, I've got no comment on that. I mean, that's your opinion. And that's what this great podcast is about, opinions. But yeah, personally, I think if you put Neymar in the Prem, for me, he's not going to do it game in, game out. And you look at Foden at the minute, he's doing it game in, game out. You look at Mahrez. I think Mahrez has been an unsung hero this season for Man City. He's done he's done so well that you've not even really heard of Bernardo Silva this year, and I think that's because Mahrez has just outperformed him. Yet again, do I think? No, I don't. As I say, I don't think Neymar gets in Man City's team. Maybe because of name value, but you said about Neymar, being this great man in Brazil and stuff. Like it's because of Neymar. The quality talents of like Malcolm, for example, in Brazil, he's not come to fruition because of Neymar, because everything's on Neymar.
Yeah, I
What do you
mean,
think about that?
yeah, Brazil's got a lot of talented wingers. Malcolm, when he was at Barcelona, was touted to be like, the next Neymar, and you've got players like Vinicius and Rodrigo, whatever you want to call him, at Real Madrid. And again, it's one of those things that why would you want to be the next Neymar? He is quality, and he's probably Brazil's player of the decade. But is he as good as like Brazilian legends like Ronaldinho, Rivaldo, Romario, prime Ronaldo? No, he's not. He's nowhere near that
You
level.
missed out one. What about Pele?
Well, yeah, Pele, but he plays in a different area, and he counts goals in his back garden. So
Mate, you're trying to get this podcast cancelled of these opinions of yours. You're only just started and you want the podcast cancelled. Pele counts goals in his backyard.
It does. I mean, Ronaldo broke his record a few months ago, and then he suddenly found 100 goals from somewhere that he'd scored against his 4-year-old nephew or something. It's one of those. It's one of those things. It's he was great in his time. He probably still will be good in our time too. There's no doubt about it. But I just think Neymar is.
I've always been my big thought about this would be like Pele, Maradona. They couldn't do it in this era of football. I mean, I used to have arguments with my dad all the time about this. Like, my dad would be like, "Oh, how can you say things like that?" I'd be like, "But Messi and Ronaldo are better." And he's like, "How can you say that?" I'm like, "Because they're doing it now. Like today's football's different." But now, in the last couple of years, I feel like football's got a lot softer. And that's a whole new podcast right there about how soft football's got. Mm-hmm. But yeah, for me, I don't think Pele and Maradona and stuff like that could do it nowadays. But yeah.
Fair enough.
So, what's your final of the Champions League then, based off of the 2 games that we've seen already? What do you think the final's going to be?
Man City, Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean, hate to be boring, but yes, that's what I think. Man City, Chelsea, mainly because they're both at home in the second legs, and City's already got 2 away goals. Mm-hmm. I don't see PSG going to City scoring like 3 goals because Man City's going to score at least 1. I don't see PSG scoring 3. They're not that sort of team. And Chelsea will just do the job. They've got all Chelsea needs is a 0-0. So they'll defend. Real Madrid will come on and they'll just break away with Pulisic. I haven't given Mount a mention. I think Mount's really impressed me the last couple of weeks. That West Ham game that he played against West Ham, he really impressed me, to be honest. He went on the plane as far as I was considered for the Euros. But in the last couple of weeks, I might have to say, yeah, you know what? But we're doing a whole podcast on the England plane and who's going to go and everything. So we'll get into that as well. But yeah, so Man City Chelsea final.
Yeah, and I think it's too close to call. I mean, if you had to make me make a decision now, I'd probably go with City.
Okay, see. Yeah, I don't know. There's part of me that says Chelsea. I mean, I know the writing's on the wall for City. It's all there for City, but they do bottle the Champions League. Pep does bottle the Champions League, and I can see the Chelsea manager go in there, winning the Champions League with his little smile on his face. I can just see it. Yeah. So the jury's out for me. I'm not going to make it. I'm going to sit on the fence and just say I'll come back to that one.